night, everybody. My name is Justin, and I am so excited to give you the newest update on this YouTube channel. I will be giving an around the world in tropics update. We will be going to every basin, and the team of Extreme Weather will give you our opinions on what is going on, and we will also look at the NHC, JTWC, JMA, all those fun things. Discord link is in the description, not the bio. I gotta fix that, but I'm too lazy to do it. And, that's cool if you want to join. It's cool if you don't, but it's a great, great, great server. Let's move over to our map. So, okay, here's what we got going on. I actually have Epic Pen open for like the first time in my life. So, wrong color. So, look, here we have Tropical Storm now, Olaf, in AOI with a medium chance of development, and AOI going into the Gulf with a high chance of a development, and AOI going into the MDR, the main development region, with a high chance of development. Tropical Depression Mindy in Category 1 Hurricane Larry. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we have Category 1 Larry, like I said. Okay, let's move over to our Western Pacific and Indian Ocean regions. So what do we got going over there? Because actually it's a lot more interesting than what we got going on in the Atlantic. We have a AOI with a medium chance of development. We've got Tropical Storm Con something. I'll look at that more deeply in our JTWC map. I blinked on the name. And we got Category 5, 180 mile per hour typhoon, super typhoon, Chan-Thu. Over here, we also have an AOI with a high chance of development. This is 96 west, I think, if I'm getting the number correct. But that's what we got going on around the world. And then let's go take a deeper look, in a more zoomed-in look, as my AP Human Geography teacher would say, a large-scale look at what is going on in each and every region. So, here, let's look at the Atlantic. As I said, we have Category 1 Larry, which will be impacting Canadian portions in a few hours, or actually less than an hour, probably. And over here, we have our AOI, which has a rather high chance of development. We'll get deeper into this, but this could actually be a tropical storm, or maybe stronger if it heads more of a western track, which I doubt. And then we have, even more interestingly, an AOI, which could either go into the Caribbean like that, or it could go like that, or it could just go out to sea, kind of like Larry. Nope, no East Coast. Out to sea, kind of like Larry. So, that's what we got going on there, and that one could be rather strong. We'll take a deeper look into that. Let's go to the Eastern Pacific, and like I said, we have Tropical Storm Olaf. It impacted the Cabo, Mexico area last night, the Category 2, with pressure in the 960s. It is now weakened to a tropical storm as it's going into the cooler waters, and no, it will not go towards California. Discard the rumors. It will actually swing right out to sea and do nothing as it dies. Okay. Here we have 90-something E. Sorry, I'm blanking on the letters. There's so many of them. But we have a medium chance of development, which is a 40 to 60% chance of development, meaning this thing could definitely develop. And it's the Eastern Pacific, so chances are this will likely end up going up as we get more into the week and into the weekend. Here is the JTWC, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. Okay. So down here we have Tropical Storm Monsoon. That is the name of that thing. And we have Super Typhoon Chan-Thu, 96W. So I did get the letter correct, and 95B. The medium chance of development for 95B. Tropical Storm Chan-Thu, or Tropical Storm Monsoon, will probably make landfall soon, and then it will die. Chan-Thu, which we will talk a lot about in this video, will end up making a landfall tomorrow in Taiwan after its devastating landfall today. Not near landfall, I'd say, on some of the very far north islands of the Philippines. Okay, let's move on. So, let's look at our sea surface temperatures around the world. Okay, so your eye might go to this, however, nothing's going to end up happening in there. I know the temperatures are over 32 degrees Celsius, which is crazy, but nothing's going to end up happening. Our entire Western Pacific region is well over 30 degrees, approaching 31 to 32 degrees in some spots. Down here, we have over 30 degrees sea surface temperatures, and in the Gulf, we actually in a lot of the Atlantic, we have 29 to 31 degrees sea surface temperatures, even after Ida took out a lot of those warmer sea surface temperatures. So remember, our AOI is moving into the Gulf like that, and our other AOI is moving likely either into the Gulf like that, or will move out to sea in also pretty warm waters. So either way, they have a lot of warm water to strive with. Now, let's look at our anomalies. So basically, this means in 7 days, how much has they changed? Have they gone up? Have they gone down? We can see that the Gulf has gone down barely in some spots or remained the same, but mainly actually has gone up 0.4 to 0.8 degrees. The Northern Atlantic, where Larry is at, has gone up 2 to 4 degrees. However, chances are you're not going to get much out there. And this area, which Larry tracked right through as a giant hurricane, has gone down almost 5 degrees. So Larry really took out a lot of those waters as they weren't they didn't have a lot of ocean heat content. And yeah, we can see that over here, up where Chantu is going, we have quite a bit of rising sea surface temperatures, up 0.8 to 2 degrees, actually. However, shear will likely take this out, and land interaction will likely weaken it significantly. So nothing to worry, not nothing to worry about, but less to worry about than if this thing was a Category 5 up there. It will not be. Yeah, let's move on to some satellite imagery and some model guides. Alrighty, everybody. So here is our map for the Atlantic. So let's look around and see what we got going on. So we can see Larry up here spinning like a top. It's a huge storm, and it is spinning and moving fast. I mean, it is moving up to the northeast extraordinarily fast, and will impact those areas where hurricane warnings are in effect across the coast right here. So, what else do we got going on? In the Gulf, like I said, we have our area of interest, which is producing a lot of disorganized showers and thunderstorms, and will likely form in the next 5 days. I'm currently expecting this to form, and I'm expecting it to move somewhat like this, where it could impact Texas. And then over, way over here, we have our other AOI, which has a high chance of development. That's just a big old strong tropical wave. And I don't have satellite imagery for that because I cannot find it on tropical tidbits. So, there's nothing I can do there. But it is a tropical wave, and it could form within the next, I'd say, 5 days also. And I'd say it has a high chance of formation as well, just like the NHC. Over here, we actually have some severe thunderstorms. Odd, right? The West having thunderstorms is weird. The West having severe thunderstorms is even weirder. Over here, we actually have a marginal risk. we have a marginal risk over this entire area. It actually goes into Salt Lake City, which is right about here. And you can see all those severe thunderstorms just streaming up. And we actually have quite a few wind reports. I will actually show those at the end of the video because today's actually quite overperforming over in the interior west and northwest. Righty. Sorry for the little cut in the audio at the end of the last clip. I had to cut a little part out at the end. But here is our typhoon, super typhoon, Chantu. Right now it's at 180 miles per hour according to the JTWC. It was, in my opinion, at 180 miles per hour. However, an eyewall replacement cycle has occurred in the past few hours. And we can see this outer eyewall with this inner eyewall right here, and they are fighting together, and the outer eyewall is winning at this point, and the outer eyewall will take over. The eye will likely clear out again to an extent, and will likely be much bigger. But here's what I want to stress. Although it's not an 180 miles per hour storm, and although I don't even think it's a Category 5 anymore, it's still a dangerous storm, and it's going to be a lot bigger, and it's going to move directly into Taiwan. Look, it's that exact track that I just painted out. It's that exact track. That's what I want. That's what I want to share with you guys. And that's what I want you guys to see. Not a weakening storm, but a more dangerous storm, because this thing is going to be larger. So if you're in those areas, if you're really anywhere here in Taiwan, or even farther north, you need to be watching this, and you need to be listening to your local officials. That's what we got going on with this storm. Let's move on over to our model guidance for the Atlantic storms. And maybe if we have some time, we will move over to model guidance for Chantu. Alright. Change of plans. We are going to look at Chantu first, because it's just such a monster and such an imminent threat. We need to look at it. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. The H-Wharf has this thing at 906 millibars, which is actually similar to what we have. We're actually at 902, according to the JTWC, so we're lower. However, like I said, it's taken a weakening trend. It's starting to weaken. I think it's going to go somewhat like this. Oh, disregard that. It's not going to take a turn like that. It's going to continue going up like this. And I think it'll impact Taiwan as a landfall, actually. So we can see the H-Wharf continues weakening it. We're at 918, 926, and we can see it actually has an eye wall replacement cycle. But then we actually have it, oddly enough, on the H-Wharf going away and not hitting Taiwan. Here's where it's just a giant storm. I don't even want to know what eye wall replacement cycle occurred there, but just a big one. But yeah, I don't agree with this. I think it's going to continue taking the path the H-Wharf's taking it, but I don't think it's going to take this turn. I think instead it's going to do more of a just continued trend, and then maybe after it makes landfall in Taiwan, it will turn to the west-northwest. Or east-northeast. Not west-northwest. West-northwest would look like this. And I don't think it's going to do that. It's going to do something like that. Okay. You get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's what we got going on with the Chantu, the Great Big Chantu. Let's move over to our Atlantic AOIs and our Atlantic storms. Our GFS model for the Atlantic in the coming part of the next couple of weeks. And we can see that our AOI, the GFS actually does have this developing. And you can just keep your eye on this general region right here. Keep your eye there. Let's continue going forward. You can see that it has it forming right there, that area of disturbance. And then it has it weakening down, or strengthening down to 900. What is is that 989 millibars? 988 millibars, 984, 991, 998. And has it making landfall on the Louisiana-Texas coast. However, it has it just skimming the coastline of Texas all the way there. That's what our GFS model is showing for that. Let's move over to our other AOI, which the GFS also has forming. Let's continue going forward. You know what? Maybe it doesn't have it forming, actually. It has it forming, but only getting down to 1,008 millibars, which is barely even a depression. So the GFS really isn't too confident on that MDR AOI. However, it has another area after that, which is a bit far out. It also has something on the East Coast, but that's a bit far out. Right now, we're mainly watching the Gulf and the MDR AOIs, which the GFS doesn't do much with the MDR one. Does a lot with the Gulf one, actually, though. So I guess let's take a more zoomed in look on the Gulf one. Let's go to our regions. Western Atlantic. Okay, 989. Yeah, would you look at that? So it has it forming, moving, and making... It actually has it making landfall. It's hard to tell if it makes landfall in central Texas. It makes landfall right there is what I'd say. Right near Houston, actually. But at a 991 millibar storm, which could still be dangerous, but nothing too crazy, but definitely probably a tropical storm, maybe borderline hurricane with the GFS run. Let's see what the Euro is trying to say. Let's go to our lower dynamics, 850 millibar height and wind. There's Larry. And not much. As it get into 1004, a very similar track to the GFS. Almost the exact same track, actually, to the GFS. Watch this area. But it has it moving up in the same exact path, but weaker. And has it making landfall in the exact same spot, but once again weaker. This is Larry over here, guys. Don't mind this thing. This thing over here, this giant monster's Larry, and it says 960 because this run is obviously a bit of an older one, and the Euro actually does go back in time a little bit with its runs, so that's what's going on with that. Let's move over to just the whole North Atlantic so we can see our MDR storm. Okay, let's move forward. There's our MDR storm. We can see 1012 millibars, 1011. Doesn't do. Ooh, wow. That's the MDR storm, actually. My bad. That is the MDR storm right there. So it does have it forming, actually. That's a different wave, that one that kind of dies. Has it forming and strengthening considerably similar path to Larry. Bit farther west, though, which is definitely not a good thing because it could impact the Lesser Antilles. And like I said, this thing could end up going and barely missing the Gulf or going into the Gulf. So that's why we want to keep an eye on this. The Euro brings this thing down all the way to 961 millibars, which would be our fourth major hurricane in like the past 2 weeks, which is insane. But we're getting into peak hurricane season. Luckily, this thing would stay out to sea, I'd assume, with the Euro solution, unless it continued on that trajectory where it would end up hitting Florida. But I think there would be some sort of either cold front or high pressure system blocking that from happening. Yeah, it looks like it's taking a bit more of a northeastern trend right there. Looks like it's going to start doing that, similar to Larry. That's what we got going on with this too. Let's really end our video here. I think we've covered everything. We've gotten everything. And, I mean, the key notes to point are we have the two systems in the Atlantic which could form. Texas needs to keep an eye out. I wouldn't go that far into Louisiana yet. Let's see here. Let's erase that. I'd say this whole area right here needs to keep an eye out for our AOI system. This whole area. And then I'd say for this one, I'd say the Lesser Antilles are going to want to be watching it. No need to take action quite yet. That's what we got going on for that. Let's highlight the areas that need to be watching out for Chanthu, because oy vey, that thing is just a monster. Western Pacific. Let's highlight those regions. Okay, so it already hit the Philippines. I mean, if you're anywhere in this, I'm gonna highlight all of Taiwan, and then all the way up here you want to be watching, and soon enough probably up here you're gonna want to be watching. Mainly Taiwan is the area of interest right now, though, with this system, because it is a monster. But, yeah, there you go, everybody. That's what we got going on. Have a great day. Have a great evening. And I will be back with another video, hopefully tomorrow.